Hey, fourth graders, today we are going to be doing something fancy called algebra. So today is kind of our first day, so just hang in there, and it's actually kind of fun once you get the hang of it. So we're going to do a little bit of reading at the top, and then we're going to have our little introduction to algebra. So let's look up in this box with Mrs. Hagen here. It says an expression is one or more numbers. I'm going to highlight this, okay, if I can do that. One or more numbers, variables, or numbers and variables with one or more operations. Now, let's explain what that means. So they're giving us some examples. So they said that an expression, which is kind of like a math problem, can either have numbers, it can have numbers with variables. So if I say 6x, 6 is a number and x is a variable which stands for a number, okay? And if I say 6x minus 5, I can figure out, depending on the rest of it, I can figure out maybe what x is. Okay, I can solve and I can figure out what x is. But these are just examples. These aren't problems. And then this one you're familiar with, which is just an expression that has two numbers. Okay. Now let's look over on this side. It says an equation. Now you've heard that word before because we've done equations or problems. Is a statement that two expressions are equal. It has an equal sign. These look very familiar to you. 40 plus 25 equals 65. That's an example of an equation, okay, that has an equal sign. Here's another one. We always know that when we see our parentheses that we do those first. Okay, so if I wanted to solve this, I could say 16 divided by 4 is 4, and then 4 take away 3 is 1. So I could solve that, couldn't I? And it would be 1, just like they said. So today we're going to be also doing something called simplifying. They've already got it highlighted right here. We simplify an expression, remember, that's the numbers and the letters together, by performing operations to combine the like terms. And when they say like terms, I'm going to put the letters that are the same together because they're alike, okay? So we're going to use the identity property, which means we can actually put and combine the letters and numbers together if they have the same letter, okay? So for instance, if I have n, that's kind of like 1n. What would it be if I had 1n plus 5n? Don't let the n kind of confuse you right now. It's just a letter. It's not a number. But if I have 1n plus 5n, what would it be? Write down what you think it would be. 1n plus 5n would be blank n. What would it be? I'm going to put the n, but what number would go here? If I had 1n plus 5n, it would be 6n. I can combine those because they're alike. They're both n's. Okay, so the answer is 6n. And that's what all these are going to be. They're going to have like terms. When I say alike, they kind of match each other. Because look at number 2, they're both t's. So what would it be if I had 17t plus t? And remember, when the t is by itself, it's just 1. So if I have 17t plus t, it would be, see if you can write it down before me. Did you say 18t, right? And the t just goes right next to the number, okay? Let's look at number 3. X plus 245x. So take your 245 and add an x. What would that be? It would be 246x, wouldn't it? Just putting them together. So I want you to do those three that are left. Remember when you get to number 6 that you just make sure you do your parentheses first. Okay, because it says 5z minus a z. If I have 5z and I take away 1, what would that be? That would be 4z. But you still have to minus this other one and to get your answer, okay? So you are going to do 4, 5, and 6 on your own, just so I can make sure that you're getting a handle on that, okay? So if you want to pause the video for a second and do those 3, then we're going to talk about the next section. Okay, here we are on number 7. We're just solving, and I know we did these in 3rd grade as well, where we had to do the parentheses first. We probably did them with smaller numbers in 3rd grade, but I know we did parentheses. So I'm going to look at number 7, and I'm going to do the parentheses first, and I'm going to write the answer for the parentheses up on top. Okay, so I have 35 divided by 7. I can use my chart if I need to, but maybe I know the answer. Okay, so 35 divided by 7 is 5. I'm going to write it up on top because now I need to go back to the beginning and say 30 divided by 5 is, use your chart if you need to, 30 divided by 5 is 6. So basically do your parentheses first, guys, and then you're just going to finish the problem. I don't think these are going to be too hard for you, but let's do another one together just in case. All right, let's look at number 12. I see my parentheses first, 26 divided by 6. Okay, you can count down or subtract on the side if you need to, and that is 20. Now I have to go back to the beginning. 100 minus 20. I can do that over here if I need to. Maybe you can mental math that one and write your answer down. 0 take away 0 is 0. Can't do 0 take away 2. I need to borrow. Come over, make a new 10. 10 take away 2 is 8. Final answer is 80. So parentheses first. Okay, so let's pause the video, finish those ones in that section, and then meet me on the next section. All right, so we are going to continue with this section right here. All right, so it says use properties to find the value of the letter, or the letter, this gray square, or A. So we're finding what goes in the gray square. And we know when there's an equal sign in the middle that both sides have to be the same. So if this side is 49 plus 17, this side needs to be blank plus 49. So I want both sides to be the same. Okay, so what's missing on this side? 49 plus 17 on this side, blank plus 49 on this side. The numbers should be the same on both sides. So that means I know that the gray box is 17. Now I've got 49 plus 17 and 17 plus 49. Are those going to be equal to each other? Yes, they are. So the gray box is equal to 17. So you're just transferring that answer and moving it down to the line. Okay? So on all of these, there's going to be an equal sign in the middle, and we need both sides to be the same. So let's look at our next one. We're figuring out, now this time it's not a gray box, we're figuring out what A is. Okay? Remember up here, it can either be a gray box or A. So let's do this side. I like to do the side, here's one side, here's another side. We want to do the side that doesn't have anything missing, that doesn't have any letters. So we're going to solve this side first, okay? So we have 2 times 3, because you remember we do the parentheses first and the dot means times. So what is 2 3s, or 2 groups of 3? That's 6, right? And then I did my 6. Now I need to take my 4 times, I've got a dot right here. What is 4 times 6? Okay, 4 times 6 is 24. So I know that this side adds up to 24. Okay, now I need my other side to add up to 24 as well. Okay, so how am I going to do that? I need to figure out which number is going to be A. Okay, so you can do this by trying different numbers. Okay, so let's say that we want to try 5 right here. Let's say that we think A is 5. So let's do 5 times 2. Okay, and let's see if that works. 5 times 2 is 10, and then 10 times 3 is 30. Does that make the sides the same? No, it does not. So let's try 4. Let's put a 4 there and see if that works. 4 times 2 is 8, and then I have to do 8. Here's my dot. I have to do 8 times 3 is 8 times 3. That means this side also adds up to 24. So I figured out that A is 4. Okay, A equals 4. It's a little bit of trial and error as you're doing this to figure it out, guys. Okay, some of them are easier than others. All right, let's look at number 15. One side is right here, the other side is right here. Remember, we're going to look at the side that doesn't have anything missing first. Okay, we see a gray box here, so we know we need to figure out what goes in the gray box. So let's do the good side first. What is 6 times 8? 6 times 8 is 48. Now I need this side to also be 48. So something times 6. Well, I can look at the numbers that are on the other side, and I know what number needs to go in that gray box. What number needs to go in the gray box? See if you can put it in before me. Did you say 8? So 8 times 6 is equal to 6 times 8. So I know that the gray box equals 8. Okay, that's where we're at so far, guys. We're doing more together today, okay? All right, let's look at number 16, guys. We have 6 times, and when you have a number times something in parentheses, you're really saying 6 times 40 and 6 times A, because that parenthesis goes with the number next to it. So that's what I'm really saying, is I'm saying 6 times 40 and 6 times A. So this is this side. Now what about this side? I did 6 times 40 and 6 times 5. So how do I make the other side? How do I figure out what A should be? Well, 6 times 40, I have that, right? That's right here, 6 times 40. And then over here, I have 6 times 5. So that means that this 6 goes over here, and that tells us that A is the 5. It's a little bit tricky, guys, so it's going to get easier, though. All right, so just remember that the 6 goes with the 40. When it's next to it, it's 6 times 40 and 6 times A. So they did the same thing on this side. They just did them separately. They did 2 parentheses. Here, the 6 goes with both of them, okay? So I can figure out that A equals 5. That's the number that was missing. All right, let's look at number 17. This is similar to the one that we just did. So I'm going to look at the good side where there's nothing missing, okay, which is this side. Remember, when the 7 is next to the parentheses, it goes with both of the numbers. Okay, so I'm really saying 7 times 5 and 7 times 9. So over here, what's missing? I have the 9 and the 5, but what's missing? I have something times 5 and something times 9, just like I do over here. Okay, it's just that I need to put my 7 here and my 7 here, and then those sides are equal. Okay, so your square equals 7. So it's the same thing on both sides, guys, but they're writing it differently. Over here they use 2 parentheses. Over here the 7 is in front and it goes to both of those. Yeah, we're going to get better at it. So the last few, we will do these together as well, guys. This is day 1, so we're just kind of trying to do everything together, okay? So let's look at number 18. Remember, when the equal sign's here, both sides have to be the same. So let's look at our good side. I always like to look at the side that doesn't have anything missing, okay? So 29 plus 8. Now I'm going to look over here and I have something plus 29. Well, I can tell that there's an 8 missing, isn't there? Because we need both sides to be the same. So their question is, in order to get to 8, do you want to do 4 plus 2 or 4 times 2? Which one of those would get you to 8, which is the number that you're missing? Would you do 4 plus 2? Well, that would be 6. Or would you do 4 times 2 to get to your 8? You would do 4 times 2, wouldn't you? So they're just going to have you figure out the number that's missing and then tell me how you can get that number, okay, by using either one of these. I think you can do those last two by yourself, guys. Figure out the number that's missing and tell me how you would get it. All right, and then when you are ready, we have a little bit more to do on the next page. So meet me on page 189. Hang in there, guys. All right, so we are going to do the section down here at the bottom. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We aren't going to do the top section for now, guys, but we'll have more of that coming up. So this is something that I think that you can do on your own, okay? So we're going to take it says to evaluate an expression or equation, substitute a value for the letter or the symbol, and then simplify the expression by performing the operations. All right, so they're going to tell us how much the letter is. Okay, so let's do one together. A equals 4. Okay, that means that I can go here and I can put a 4 right over the A. And then I need to solve. And we know that when we solve the parentheses first. So I'm going to start with the parentheses and I'm going to say 4 plus 6. Up above that, I'm going to write 10. And now I'm ready to solve my equation. 19 minus 10. What is 19 minus 10? 9. Okay. So you are going to do these. I think you will be fine. Just make sure that you look at what your letter is worth. Like on the next one, A equals 10. I'm going to put a 10 right over here. And then I'm ready to solve. And you have to do your parentheses first. Very, very important. Okay, so fill in your letter. When you get down to number 38, okay, you are still doing the same thing where you're putting your letter in. Okay, but then you are going to have to solve this parenthesis and this parenthesis, and then you're going to need to times them because the dot is times. So solve both sides and then times them. All right, thanks for hanging in there with me today, guys. It's going to get easier.